So hello everyone, we'll be doing the January mapping part. See, here I'll be beating around the bush. So not just the news item, but also we'll get into second, third and fourth layers. See, आप ढेर सारे मटेरियल पढ़ के एग्जाम में जाते हो, तो एग्जामिनेशन हॉल के बाहर आने के बाद एक चीज़ बोलते हो, भाई जितना भी पढ़ा एक भी चीज़ एग्जाम में नहीं आया. क्यों? क्योंकि आप सिर्फ न्यूज़ पढ़ के जाते हो. तो न्यूज़ के अराउंड जितना भी चीज़ें हैं, उससे जितने भी इंटरलिंक्ड चीज़ें हैं, उसको नज़रअंदाज करते हो. So here we'll be linking everything which is around the news. So let's dive in. So India is signing an FTA with EU. Now here we will see the countries which are not part of EU. See, एक तो आप याद रख सकते हो कौन से EU के पार्ट है. So better आप याद रखो कौन सा EU के पार्ट नहीं है. अभी देखो यहाँ पे आइसलैंड है, यहाँ पे फिनलैंड है. So Iceland and Finland के बीच में you have North Sea. So North Sea में you have Dogger Bank. Means these are good fishing grounds. If you become part of EU, then you have to share some of the fishing rights. So that's why they are not part of EU. And for Norway, along with the fishing, the agriculture also becomes important. And next, Brexit. So the UK has exited out. अभी क्यों हुआ इसका लॉजिकल रीजनिंग तो मुझे पता नहीं है. नेक्स्ट यहाँ पे स्विट्जरलैंड है. So Switzerland, since from Second World War, it maintains neutrality. Therefore, it is not part of EU. Then Switzerland के साथ एक छोटा सा स्टेट है लिंचेस्टाइन, it is also not part of. Now यहाँ पे एस्टवेल यूगोस्लोवियन रिपब्लिक्स है. So यूगोस्लोविया टूट के so छोटे छोटे देशों में बट गया. Now इसमें क्रोएशिया, स्लोवेनिया, they are part of EU and rest of the countries are not part of. So instead of remembering which are all the members of the EU, just remember these four. अभी यहाँ पे पूरा explanation मैंने दिया हुआ है, so I'll be uploading this in the description below. Now, आपने EU के साथ तो साइन किया, लेकिन जो EU का पार्ट नहीं है, उसके साथ भी आपको साइन करना पड़ेगा. So here you have Norway, Iceland, Liechtenstein and Switzerland. So with these four countries, you have to sign a separate agreement, and these four countries are part of European Free Trade Association. So remember these four. Now, यहाँ पे you have this Liechtenstein. So Liechtenstein is the part of 6 microstate. You have 6 European microstates, and these 6 European microstates, one is Andorra, which is between France and Spain. One is Monaco, south of France. एक Liechtenstein है, that is near Switzerland. You have San Marino, Italy, Vatican City, Italy, and Malta. Malta is in the Mediterranean Sea. Remember Malta, very important. So next, now after annexing, after taking over Venezuela, the Trump has become very confident. So Trump ने सोचा maybe जाके एक दिन में पूरा ईरान को कब्जा कर लूंगा. He thought that way, but again it could not happen in case of Iran. Now in this context they can ask Venezuela. So mapping के perspective से what all things can become important in Venezuela. Let's see. So the Andes mountain are extending into Venezuela. You see, in between the Andes you have Lake Maracaibo. So Lake Maracaibo is very rich in oil, and one of the reasons, in fact the main reason why Trump wanted Venezuela is this oil. So Maracaibo is very rich. It is so rich that इसके lake के ऊपर oil तैरता रहता है. And this lake is also famous for lightning. यहाँ पे lightning भी बहुत सारा होता है, because it gets very hot over here. So इस lake के ऊपर cumulonimbus clouds will be formed, and cumulonimbus clouds will be having a very large amount of water vapor. Because of that, lot of charges will be created. So therefore, the lightning will be happening here. So next you have Llanos over here. So Llanos is nothing but these are tropical grasslands. So जितना भी यहाँ पे the Venezuela का जो farming होता है, ranching होता है, so इसी farmlands में होती है. Next you have the eastern part of the Venezuela. You have Guinea Shield region. So Guinea Shield region means this is exposed batholith. Means this is a very old rock which has been exposed outside. जैसे इंडिया में सिंघभूम प्लेट्यू है, this धारवाड़ प्लेट्यू है, Chota Nagpur Plateau, Singhbhum Plateau. So it is rich for metalliferous minerals. Even this region is rich in metalliferous minerals. So this is Guinea Shield on the eastern region. And beside Venezuela, you have a country called as Guyana. So this Guinea Shield region also extends into Guyana. So around an year ago, Venezuela has attacked part of Guyana, and this region is called as Essequibo. If you can remember Essequibo, please remember, keep noting down, okay? सब लिखते रहो आप. So these are some of the important regions of Venezuela. And Venezuela सुनते ही आपको और एक चीज याद आएगी, that is River Orinoco. So the mouth of River Orinoco, also called as Orinoco Basin, this is also rich in oil and gas reserves. And Venezuela, सिर्फ वेनेजुएला के पास वर्ल्ड का 20% oil reserves है, so it becomes very important. So one of the conspiracy theories is now the Trump doesn't want to win in Iran. So Iran क्या करेगा? Strait of Hormuz को choke करके रखेगा. Then the oil prices in the world will increase. So Middle East से oil की supplies नहीं आएंगे. So Venezuela Trump के control के अंदर है. So the Trump, okay, the USA can sell Venezuelan oil to rest of the world. Okay, this is one of the master plans of Trump. So that's where River Orinoco becomes very important. So next, we have discussed all this: Maracaibo, Orinoco, Llanos, Andes Mountains, Guyana, Highlands. Now, यहाँ पे, okay, in the Guinea Highlands, you have this quartz sandstone. This looks like a plateau. It is made up of quartz and sandstone. So here the ecosystem here, because here the temperature will be different, and नीचे क्या है? You have tropical forest है नीचे. So the temperature conditions, precipitation conditions will be different at the bottom and on the top. So an unique ecosystem is developed over here, and cross migration of the species will not happen. Means यहाँ का species उधर नहीं जाएगा, उधर का species यहाँ नहीं आएगा. So that's why Charles Darwin, okay, so okay, when he wanted to study the evolution, he has taken Galapagos Island, which is off the coast of Venezuela. So वहाँ पे, okay, why he has chosen that island? The first thing is it is on the equator. So when something is on the equator, it will be having very high biodiversity. And secondly, it's an island, so cross migration will not happen. So here, okay, if you want to study the evolution, this can also be studied. So this is also called as, okay, the Galapagos. Now, such kind of feature which are made up of the sandstone, quartz sandstone, these are called as tupias. So tupias is one such unique feature which is there in Venezuela, and it is part of the shield region. And from one such tupias, okay, a river is flowing. This is the Churun River. Okay, it is a tributary of Caroni River. And over this river, you have this Angel waterfalls. The Angel waterfalls is the world's highest waterfalls. So these are some of the items which are associated with this. So next, the Trump also publicly argued that US should acquire or annex Greenland. Now in this context, they can ask, see, most of the Greenland, it falls under Arctic Circle. And ग्रीनलैंड के आसपास जितने भी कंट्री से ध्यान रखना, यूके का थोड़ा सा पार्ट है यहाँ पे, ओके, दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. ऑफ कोर्स यू हैव कनाडा एंड मैरीटाइम बॉर्डर, इसका मैरीटाइम बॉर्डर यूएसए भी है. ऑफ कोर्स ऑन द अदर साइड यू हैव रशिया, देन ऑल्सो यू हैव नॉर्वे हियर. सो दीज आर द नेबरिंग कंट्रीज ऑफ ग्रीनलैंड. वैसे ग्रीनलैंड बिलोंग्स टू डेनमार्क. नाउ मोस्ट ऑफ द ग्रीनलैंड इज कवर्ड विथ आइस. So 81% is covered with ice sheets. Only the peripheries, the edges of the island, okay, they have, okay, the tundra type of climate. And it also has permafrost. The coastline is one of the longest coastline in the world because it has a lot of fjords. Because the Greenland has a lot of indented coastline, irregular coastline hai. Because during the Pleistocene ice age, it was covered with 3-4 kilometer thick ice. अभी भी 2-3 किलोमीटर है, तब और भी ज़्यादा ice था. So whenever this ice is sliding down, okay, it will be cutting down the continental landmass. So because of which, okay, the glacial valleys get submerged today. So these are called as fjords. And is the largest non-continental island part of Kingdom of Denmark with extensive home rule. And these are some of the, and one more important thing about Greenland is it is a Precambrian craton, that is the shield region. So just now I told you, just like your Singhbhum Plateau, Dharwad Plateau, it is also one of the oldest rocks. It is around 4 billion years old. And world में जहाँ पे भी ऐसे आपको shield दिखता है, Precambrian craton दिखता है, it will be rich in metalliferous minerals, and यहाँ पे बहुत सारे minerals है. So that is also a reason why Trump wants to acquire Greenland. Next, USA has opened a new combined air missile defense coordination cell at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. So right now the war is happening with Iran. Abhi Islamabad is negotiating, but still the war will go on. Now in this context you should know which all bases, military bases USA has. Of course USA has many bases over here. You can't remember all, at least remember 2. So Qatar में Al Udeid Air Base है. So it is the largest base in the Middle East. And secondly, USA's naval fleet, 5th fleet, is located in Bahrain. Anyways, if you want to remember others, you can remember others also. But these 2 are very important. So the information is given here, you can go through. Next, UK to transfer full sovereignty of the entire Chagos archipelago, including Diego Garcia. You see here, this entire region, the ridge which you see here, so this ridge is called as the Chagos Lakkadivi ridge. So in this Chagos Lakkadivi ridge, you have Lakshadweep here, you have Maldives here, and this is the Chagos archipelago. So Chagos archipelago was under the control of UK very recently. But below this you also have Mauritius. Mauritius bhi hai yahan pe. The Mauritius is claiming, since from very long time it has been claiming this Chagos archipelago. So the UK is transferring this Chagos archipelago to Mauritius. Lekin yahan pe ek masla hai. That is, in the Chagos archipelago you also have Diego Garcia. So Diego Garcia has USA's military base. So USA ka air base hai. Now having an air base becomes very important for USA here because a lot of shipments towards China will be going from here. And in case if you want to have control over Strait of Malacca or Indian Ocean region, so you need to have an air base over here. And USA is also part of the Quad. So that's why USA needs to have a presence here. And right now Iran is located here. So since the war is happening, in case if all the military bases in the Persian Gulf they get perished, अगर ईरान ने पूरे military bases को attack कर दिया, so USA के पास कुछ ना कुछ base रहना चाहिए. Then the Diego Garcia becomes very important. Now UK is transferring this entire Chagos archipelago to Mauritius. लेकिन UK will be controlling Diego Garcia. So Diego Garcia का 99 ईयर का लीज ले लिया है यूके ने. ओके, सो चागोस को तो ट्रांसफर कर दिया, लेकिन Diego Garcia will be under control. The information is given here, you can go through. Now one more important thing here, the Chagos archipelago, so it has been traced by Reunion hotspot. So Reunion hotspot, it has busted, it has become active around 65 million years ago, and that is also associated with one of the mass scale extinctions. So at that time, it has traced this entire ridge, including Deccan lava eruptions in India. So this entire Chagos Lakkadivi ridge is the volcanic eruption associated with Reunion hotspot. So even in Chagos archipelago, the base will be made up of basaltic eruptions, means of volcanic rock. So since this volcanic island, we can say, or volcanic rock is in the shallow waters, over the shallow waters a lot of coral polyps have grown, and these coral polyps, they have left a lot of calcium carbonate secretions and they have become coral atolls. So What is this Chagos archipelago made up of? So it is made up of the volcano below, and above the volcano you have this coral reefs. So calcium carbonate plus basalt. Next is snow Apollo freezes Russia, emergency declared in Kamchatka. So let's see Kamchatka. So this is where the Kamchatka Peninsula is. So Kamchatka Peninsula is located along the subduction plate boundary. So the Pacific plate is undergoing subduction. So because of the subduction, you'll be having numerous volcanoes on Kamchatka. So lot of explosive volcanoes are there in Kamchatka Peninsula. And Kamchatka Peninsula is also very important for fishing here. So Pacific में fishing के लिए very important है, because in the cold waters you'll be having lot of fish as compared to warm waters. Because fish का जो खाना है, that is phytoplanktons, they thrive in the cold waters and not in the warm tropical waters. And thirdly, it gives Russia access to a broad coastline. Bada coastline means bada sea route access. And also in Kamchatka Peninsula, Russia has a lot of military and nuclear bases. And this is not very far away from Alaska, USA, Canada. So it is very near to the west. So therefore, in case of any attack, so in case, okay, if any strategic deterrence, okay, is required, then Kamchatka Peninsula will be playing a very important role. Remember, so Kamchatka Peninsula has been in the news for various reasons. Now because of the storm, also because of the volcano, because of strategic significance. Remember that. So next, Southern Transitional Council announced new constitution for the state of Saudi Arabia. See, state of South Arabia, not Saudi Arabia, South Arabia. Now let's see. Now this is Yemen. In Yemen, many groups are very active. So this is where you have the Sunnis. Sunni ka government hai, very active. It's also called as government affiliated forces. So this is Sunni backed government. Now you see this region over here around Aden. So here you have this Southern Transitional Council, and towards the western side, okay, around Sana'a, you have this Houthi rebels. The Houthis, the Shia. Now this strait is very important. Bab-el-Mandeb strait is very important. So when you are crossing the strait, so you have to cross this Hodeidah port. The Hodeidah port is in the control of the Houthis, and you also have to cross Gulf of Aden. And Aden is in the control of South Transitional Council. And these three, okay, they form a kind of triangle. So तीनों का एक दूसरे से जमता नहीं है. एक हो गया शिया, एक हो गया सुन्नी, and these are secular है. These are secular. So three groups, okay, are ruling the Yemen. And recently, Israel has recognized Somaliland here. So Somaliland is a independent republic which was earlier part of Somalia. Now Strait of Hormuz situation you are seeing, which Iran has choked. So what if in the future these rebel groups, they choke this Bab-el-Mandeb also, and choke करेगा and बोलेगा कि जो भी ship यहाँ से जा रहा है, okay, एक ship, okay, $2 million देना चाहिए, because 40% of the world's trade will be happening here, because this will be growing into the Red Sea. From Red Sea it will go through the Suez Canal into Mediterranean and through Europe. अभी okay, आपको अगर trade करना है एशिया और यूरोप के साथ, then this route becomes very important. The things which you have to remember from here is Sana'a. Sana'a is the capital. Aden, because Gulf of Aden is very important. Next, Hodeidah port. Hodeidah port because, okay, you have this Houthi rebels very active in that region. And in Marib also, these Houthi rebels are very active. And rest of the things you can ignore. Now, Argentina, Patagonia wildfires. You see here, there have been a lot of wildfires in central Chile region. Because in the north of Chile, in this region, you have the desert. In the south of Chile, you have British type of climate. So in between these two, you have Mediterranean type of climate. So in this Mediterranean type of climate, you have the winters wet and summer dry. So summer, when the temperature is high, during that time it is dry. So when the temperature increases, then it will be very much prone to forest fires. And also the Patagonia is comparatively a cooler region. The Patagonia is a plateau on the eastern side of the Andes. So this is where you have the Andes. So the Patagonia is made up of the basaltic eruptions. So it is just like the Deccan Plateau here. It's a highland. So it should be generally cooler. But Patagonia also is facing a lot of forest fires. Why? So one of the reasons is here you have Andes. So this is from where you have the westerly winds. So the westerly winds are effectively blocked by the Andes, and on the leeward side you have Patagonia. So if the temperature increases enormously and if the rainfall reduces enormously, then also the forest fires can happen. And here the reasons for the forest fire is extremely exceeding temperature, and this is attributed to the climate change which has been human caused, and also monoculture, because you are removing the original growth forest, you are removing the natural vegetation and you are going for pine plantation. So the pine plantation, जो pine की जो oil होती है, the pine का जो what needles होते हैं, so they have high calorific value, so they can catch fires very easily. And nextly, early fire season linked to the rising temperatures because of the emissions, climate change, etc. So next one which is in the news is Sakshigam Valley. The Sakshigam Valley, so till 1947 it was with India, it was under the princely state of Jammu and Kashmir. But in 1947 the Pakistan has occupied it, and in 1963 Pakistan has ceded this territory to China. Now this is on the north side of the Siachen glacier. So Siachen के north side में है. Now it is very important for China because the CPEC, China Pakistan Economic Corridor, is passing through here, and it is sitting just above the Siachen, and Siachen has been a flashpoint for India and Pakistan. It's also called as world's highest battlefield, and उसके just ऊपर आपकी साप्स्कैम वैली है, आपका वहाँ जहाँ पे आपका दूसरा दुश्मन चाइना है. सो चाइना के यहाँ पे बहुत सारे रोडवेज है, रेलवेज है, ऑयल पाइपलाइंस है, it has got very good infrastructure. So in case of any war in this region, if China supplies the arms ammunition to Pakistan, so it will become very difficult for India. So that's why the Sapshkam Valley plays a very important role. And next, anyways, we are seeing this map. You can see the Aksai Chin here. So Aksai Chin ke north mein you have this Kulnun Shan, a mountain range called as Kulnun Shan, and ke south mein you have this Karakoram range here. So here you have Karakoram. So Aksai Chin is between these two, and here you have this LAC also, this line of actual control. So line of actual control is the border between the India and China, and LOC, line of control, is between India and Pakistan. Now you see along this LAC you have this Galwan Valley which is in the news, Hot Spring which is in the news, and also along this LAC India has built a road called as DBO, Daulat Beg Oldie Road. And recently connecting with the Daulat Beg Oldie Road, we have this Shok Tunnel also. Shok Tunnel ko build kiya. The Shok Tunnel will be cutting across the Karakoram range, and it will be connecting the Daulat Beg Oldie Road. So in case of any skirmishes, अगर war हो जाए India और China के बीच में, अगर आपको supplies पहुंचाना है, the Shok Tunnel plays a very important role. And these are some of the facts. You can go through the facts here. So next one which is in the news is Kondaigai Lake. It is in Sivaganga district of Tamil Nadu. So here the Birbal Sahani Institute of Paleosciences, it has done some studies, because see generally the bottom of the lakes will be having silent waters. So in the lakes the sediments will be deposited. So जब भी ये sediments आते हैं, धीरे धीरे करके layer by layer they'll be deposited at the bottom of the lake. So they'll be acting as the evidences of the past. Means past में कितना oxygen था, so कितना what temperature था, वो सब चीज़ें आपको note करना है. Anyways, you can't go to the past, but those evidences will be preserved in the sedimentary rocks or sedimentary fossils. So recently the excavations have happened here and they have drilled through this layers. So वहाँ पे एक drill किया. So layer by layer it will be telling you the history of the past. So that's why this Kondagai inland lake place is very important. Next you have Hope Island off the coast of Kakinada. You have a city called as Kakinada in Andhra Pradesh. यहाँ पे Hope Island है. The Hope Island is a sand spit. So it has been made in the past 200 years only. So because of the wave action, it can also be created because of the sediments. So यहाँ पे आपकी गोदावरी की distributaries है. So गोदावरी distributaries बहुत सारा silt लेके आता है and sea wave action भी होता है. So because of these two actions, the sand spit is created. Now it is important because now Andhra Pradesh government is planning to set up one more Sriharikota here. But Sriharikota will be used for the major launches, whereas this will be used for the private and commercial launches. So it is under development. So Hope Island is very important. It's also part of Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary. So the Koringa is on the mouth of the Godavari river. So Koringa also has a lot of mangroves. So remember all these things. Next, Bannerghatta National Park. This Bannerghatta National Park is just near Bangalore and Bangalore city is expanding. And जहाँ पे भी आपका wildlife sanctuary होती है and national park होता है, so around that you should be having a buffer. So that buffer is called as eco-sensitive zone, ESZ. Now, because of cities expanding, the eco-sensitive zone is not respected. The people have been encroaching into this eco-sensitive zone also. So just right along the national park, if you are having polluting industries or you have a lot of population, the wildlife inside this national park will be affected. So recently Supreme Court panel, it has told that the eco-sensitive zone has been breached and they're also planning to build a new observation tower. So that will also impact the wildlife inside the Bannerghatta National Park. So next thing which is in the news is Aralam Wildlife Sanctuary. This Aralam Wildlife Sanctuary will now be called as Aralam Butterfly Sanctuary. And by the way, Bannerghatta is very unique for butterflies also. So just beside Bannerghatta National Park, means inside the Bannerghatta National Park, you have a butterfly park also. So once it has been asked in the UPSC, so this can also be asked. So it is in the northernmost side, almost on the Karnataka border. So next you have this Somnath temple. The Somnath temple has been destroyed multiple times, invaded multiple times. 725, 1026. So 1026 and this is 2026. So 1000 years have happened since its first or second invasion has happened. Because recently the government has told it's the first, but again if you check the history records, it will be second. So just know where the Somnath temple is. The present structure which you see, this Chalukya style temple which you see, so it has been made in 1951 under Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel. So इसके पहले का structure जो है, so that has been built by Ahilya Bhai Holkar. So next, the fire has erupted in the Valley of Flowers, which is the part of Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. Now look at this Nanda Devi Biosphere Reserve. This is at the elevation of around 3,500 to 4,200. So what happens here is, during winters it will be completely covered by snow. In the summers you will be having ephemeral vegetation, means seasonal vegetation. मीन्स समर्स में यहाँ पे वेजिटेशन होगा, ओके, and a lot of seasonal plants will be growing here, but by winters it will be covered, okay. So every year this will be happening. Therefore in these regions, okay, this is part of the tundra, alpine tundra. So in these regions you'll be having a lot of biological matter, means बहुत सारा carbon content होता है. And if the western disturbances are not happening, if there is no rainfall, if there is no snowfall, and temperatures are increasing, and there is a lot of organic matter, and this organic matter will act as a fuel, and thoda bahut bhi temperatures बढ़ गया, and moreover these regions are also marshy because जब भी ये snow या ice melt होता है, so नीचे permafrost है, the permafrost will not allow the percolation of the water, and melting of the snow and ice will make these regions marshy, and these marshy lands will produce lot of methane. Therefore the organic matter which is present over here will have lot of methane, and methane jaldi jal jata hai, it is highly combustible in nature. So that might be the reason why, okay, you have the fires. So this is part of tundra, okay. Tundra may be similarly you have a fire called as zombie fire. So next, Kumbhalgarh Wildlife Sanctuary in Rajasthan Aravalli range. So earlier Kumbhalgarh has been asked in UPSC once. Now the MOEFCC, because the Aravallis, okay, are being destroyed, these regions, okay, are also rich in minerals. यहाँ पे feldspar मिलता है, limestone मिलता है. A lot of mining is happening in this area. Now it's already a wildlife sanctuary, and when you have a wildlife sanctuary or a national park, so earlier rule, okay, according to the actual rules, 10 kilometers of buffer, okay, that is ecologically sensitive zone should be there, but nobody is following it. So finally Supreme Court ने तंग आके बोल दिया भाई 10 kilometers नहीं हो सकता है, at least 1 kilometer का तो रखो, but that also not being followed. Now recently government has told that भाई अगर 1 kilometer भी नहीं होता है, at least थोड़ा बहुत तो ecologically sensitive zone रखो. So MOEFCC has notified 0 to 1 kilometer of ESZ around it. So it can be 0 or it can be 1 kilometer, anywhere in between these two. Next, this Bactria, okay, Bactria was a kingdom. So this kingdom, okay, lies between Amu Darya. Amu Darya is a river which will be flowing into the Aral Sea. You see here, this is the Aral Sea, this is Amu Darya, this is Sir Darya. So the land between this Amu Darya and this Hindu Kush mountain, this is Hindu Kush mountain, this region is called as Bactria. Now why this region becomes important? Because you have a double humped camel. This double humped camel also called as Bactrian camels, and in India they are there in the Nubra valley. Therefore these camels are also called as the Galwan camels or Nubra camels, and they have debuted in the 77th Republic Day parade. So that's why it is important. You can see the map over here, you can see various ranges. So you have the Shivalik lower Himalayas, then you have this Pir Panjal middle Himalayas, Great Himalayas, you have this Janskar, Ladakh, and then you have Karakoram. So between the Ladakh and Janskar you have this Nubra valley. So Nubra valley mein you have these two rivers, Nubra river and Shok river. So next, Nubra valley, okay, I told you, you can look here. So next, since we have done camels, so we will do what are the various types of camels which are present in India. एक तो है, okay, Nubra valley camel, also called as Bactrian camel. One is the Kharai camel. This camel is also very unique, and this has been once asked in UPSC. So this camel is in Run of Kutch, and this is a camel which can swim. So it will be swimming into the marshes. So Run of Kutch में मानसून के टाइम में जब भी बारिश आता है वहाँ पे पूरा स्वैम्प हो जाता है, तो पानी में तैरता है, खारे पानी में सर्वाइव कर सकता है, एंड मैंग्रोव्स को खाता है, सॉल्ट पैन्स में जितने भी ओके प्लांट्स होते हैं उसको खाता है. सो दैट्स व्हाई दिस खराई कैमल इज़ वेरी यूनिक. एंड तीसरा जो कैमल है दैट इज़ द राजस्थानी कैमल, ऑल्सो कॉल्ड एज मारवाड़ी कैमल, विच इज़ वेरी फेमस. नेक्स्ट, Zehanpora site. So Zehanpora site, okay, is in Baramulla district. So here 2000 year old Kushan era Buddhist settlement has been found. So this Buddhist settlement, okay, is also famous for the Gandhara school of art. There are two schools of Buddhist art. One is Mathura school of art, other is the Gandhara. So Gandhara school of art, okay, is in the Himalayan region along the Hindu Kush, also in the Himalayas. Recently it has been found. Okay, the Bamiyan Buddhas जो है, okay, जो कांदाहार में, अफगानिस्तान में, जिसको तालिबान ने, okay, पूरा ब्लास्ट कर दिया था, that also is Gandhara school of art. So next one is J&K is accelerating the Sawalkot HEP. So the Sawalkot hydroelectric power project, you can see 1856 megawatt का है. So it will be on Chenab river. So it was under development for decades, but recently we started fast tracking it. But Pakistan is raising objection because it is a western river. So जितने भी this Indus Valley के rivers है, so they have been divided into eastern rivers and western rivers. So eastern rivers के ऊपर पूरा इंडिया का हक है and western rivers के ऊपर पूरा पाकिस्तान का हक है. And since this Sawalkot HEP is on Chenab, and the Chenab is a western river. So on the western river, what all things are allowed? So on the western river, India can do such activities. So consumptive use नहीं करना चाहिए इंडिया को. Means India should be having non-consumptive use. Means what all India can do? India can use these rivers for drinking water, sanitation, limited irrigation, and generation of hydroelectric power. Means for a generation of hydroelectric power, you should not be building very big dams and you should be storing a very large amount of water. So जितना भी HEPs है, there should be a run of the river project. Means अगर water run कर रहा है, okay, running water के ऊपर आप turbine डाल के आप electricity produce कर सकते हो, store करके नहीं कर सकते हो. Because इंडिया का हक नहीं है, okay, western rivers के ऊपर. But because of the recent political tensions between India and Pakistan, so government थोड़ा aggressive हो गया, and now बीच में आपने भी सुना होगा कि जितने भी western rivers है, okay, उन सबको इंडिया में डाइवर्ट कर देंगे etc. So this is one of the, okay, this political stunts, okay, which is played by India. Next, you should also know in this context, सिर्फ सवाल खोटे नहीं पूछेगा, बाकी चीज भी नहीं पूछेगा. So you should also know what are the other controversial HEPs, okay, or between India and Pakistan. So one such controversy between India and Pakistan is this one. So here you have this Neelam or Kishan Ganga river. So the Pakistan is trying to build an HEP in Pakistan, means Pakistan occupied Kashmir, on Neelam river. And Neelam river in India is called as Kishan Ganga river. So India ने क्या किया यहाँ पे, India ने यहाँ पे एक barrage build किया. So it will be diverting the water and it will be generating power here, and then the water will be released into Wular Lake, and through Jhelum anyways it will be going into Pakistan. So India बोल रहा है भाई, okay, हम ये पानी को यूज नहीं कर रहे हैं, हम स्टोर नहीं कर रहे हैं, बस डाइवर्ट कर रहे हैं. Then पाकिस्तान क्या बोल रहा है, भाई हम यहाँ पे बिल्ड करना चाहता है हमारा पावर प्लांट, so यहाँ पे हमको पानी चाहिए. So this is a Kishan Ganga issue. So India is not consuming the water, India is just diverting the water. So this is the Kishan Ganga issue. So next one is the Tulbul navigation project. So Tulbul में क्या कर रहा है? So India is building a barrage here so that India can maintain certain amount of water. जब पानी थोड़ा रोक के रखेगा इंडिया, तो यहाँ पे पानी रहेगा. Then in the Baramulla district, it will play a very important role in navigation. जब पानी रहेगा नाले में, तो ship वहाँ यहाँ जा सकता है. So that will be useful for India. But Pakistan इसके लिए भी object कर रहा है, भाई आप ओके पानी रोक के रख रहे हो. So this is the second issue. This is called as the Tulbul navigation project. So you can read here, India has proposed a barrage on the mouth of the Wular Lake to regulate the flow of the navigation. Pakistan has objected it, terming it as storage project on the Western River. So work was suspended in 1987. Several rounds of talks have been held, but the issue remains unsolved. Next one, which is in the which is controversial, is Ratle HEP. It is also in the Chenab region. The Pakistan raised concern about the design of the dams, pondage and spillways. Means if you are producing electricity, okay, you have to store some amount of water. पूरा pure run of the river project नहीं हो सकता है. So the Pakistan has raised objection. So other which are in the news, which are controversial are Salal HEP, okay, Baglihar. ये दोनों भी okay controversial है. So remember all these names. So Baglihar. So Pakistan has disputed the design parameters including the height and storage of the dam. Again, it has been referred to the expert committee who ruled in India's favor. So most of the controversies between India and Pakistan, they have been ruled in India's favor. Salal, okay, know the location. So कौन सा HEP कौन सा river पे है, okay, please remember. And know the location of this. Baglihar is one of the important one here, and Kishanganga project. Okay, so the Kishanganga project is in the Kashmir region, and Baglihar is in the Jammu region. Next is Bagurumba dance. So Bagurunga dams, यहाँ पे बहुत सारे dances आए थे, गुवाहाटी में बहुत सारा festival हुआ था, and this dance belongs to the Bodo group. Now, since the Bodo has come, what it has got to do with the mapping? Now, what is Bodo land and which all districts are the part of Bodo land? Kokrajhar, Chirang, Buxa and Udalguri. So next, Union Cabinet clears Kaziranga, elevated corridor over Kaziranga. You see here, there is a Brahmaputra river which is flowing. Okay, you have the Kaziranga National Park here, and jitne bhi rhinos hai, hippos hai, okay, they'll be staying near the water. Lekin, whenever the flood comes, the water level increases in Brahmaputra. So all these animals, they'll be running high ground. So पहाड़ के ऊपर जाता है, and ये पहाड़ क्या है? Karbi Anglong Hills. So they'll be running towards the Karbi Anglong Hills. But what is the problem here? From Guwahati to Dibrugarh, there is a highway over here. So whenever they'll be crossing the road, a lot of accidents will happen. So we need to have a win-win situation. So win-win situation क्या है? We need to have an elevated corridor. So when you have an elevated corridor, the animals can have a free pass. So जितने भी यहाँ पे elephants है, rhinos है, hippos है, tigers है, वो ये flyover के नीचे से, corridors के नीचे से जा सकता है. So this will reduce the man-animal conflict. And this is the news over here. So इसका उद्घाटन हुआ है, means a foundation stone, okay, Bhumi Pujan has been laid. Okay, it will take a lot of time to complete it. Next, Patna Bird Sanctuary. So Patna Bird Sanctuary मतलब ये बिहार में नहीं है. So this is in the Etah district of Uttar Pradesh, and it's the smallest bird sanctuary. So recently it has been declared as a Ramsar site. And one more, Chari Dhand, okay, it also has been declared as the Ramsar site. So the Chari Dhand, okay, it is part of the Banni grasslands. So this is the part of the Run of Kutch area. So remember these 2-3 keywords here. Chari Dhand is part of Banni grasslands, which is part of Run of Kutch. So Chari matlab salt affected, Dhand means shallow wetland. So it is seasonal in nature. Whenever the monsoon comes, then only the water will come. So it is acting as a transition between the Run of Kutch and semi-arid Banni grasslands. So remember these two Ramsar sites. And previously, when a few questions have been asked. So a question has been asked on wild ass. So this wild ass belongs to the Run of Kutch, Banni grasslands. So you can go through the information here, and whatever I have discussed, they are very, very important. Anyways, rest of the information is here. Your exam is also coming very near. So please follow this series. And finally, at the end, I'll also make an entire series of the world mapping also, where I'll be doing the traditional part as well as the current affairs part. Thank you. Keep watching, subscribe my channel, and please support. Thank you.